It is reported that 900 people have been killed, a quarter of them children, in the latest Israeli aggression in Palestine. But who can count in the chaos? The excuse for this military adventure is the firing of rockets into Israel by militants in Gaza. But why should militants want to fire rockets into Israel? Viewing the situation from a consulting room chair, in 1974 I worked on a Middle East oil field. It was run for the Emir by well-qualified Palestinian refugees. They sent their earnings to Palestine to support their extended families, some of whom were still in refugee camps, some since 1948, others since 1967. Those camps still exist today. But all the refugees I met referred to their enemies as Zionists, not Jews. They were not anti-Semitic. The State of Israel was formed in 1948 by Zionist terrorists who shot British soldiers, blew up British installations, and bombed the King David Hotel in Jerusalem. When the British mandate ended, they drove the Palestinians from their land, forcing them to live in the refugee camps, which are now even bigger than they were in 1948. No attempt has been made to reintegrate them. The camps are little more than concentration camps. This has provoked great anger amongst the Arabs and fostered fundamentalism and terrorist retribution. America has taken the side of the terrorists of Zion and is therefore the ultimate sponsor of world terrorism. The day after the Twin Towers were destroyed, I made the following observations. Since the Second World War, we have allowed the Zionists of Israel to emotionally blackmail us with the Nazi Holocaust. In his declaration of 1917, Arthur Balfour, the British Foreign Secretary, pledged British aid for Zionist efforts to establish a homeland for world Jewry in Palestine. But it was never Balfour's intention that the Jews should oppress and persecute the Palestinians and force them from their land as refugees, as they have done since 1948. Neither did Balfour envisage the United States mindlessly supporting such an undemocratic infringement of Palestinian rights and civil liberties. This, together with the fact that Americans have been greedily living beyond their means, has aroused intense hatred, not only among Palestinians, but the Muslim world generally. The United States has provoked ever more determined terrorist retaliation. Sooner or later, the Israelis will have to face up to the fact that they cannot simply reoccupy land from which they were biblically exiled. The only solution is for Jews to live in Palestine as they have lived elsewhere since Roman times, that is, by respecting the customs and traditions of host nations. But it is natural for the Jews to hanker for a homeland, a geographical focus for their religion, a Jewish Vatican. Such a focus would be achieved by building a new Jerusalem on a few square miles of uninhabited desert, Masada perhaps, by deploying modern science and technology to create an oasis. Jerusalem itself could become an international city-state. Once the Jews adopt this course, the world will heave a collective sigh of relief. Overnight, peace will settle on the Middle East. Overnight, the Jews will command the respect and freedom from persecution that they crave. Overnight, ideological fundamentalism will be deprived of motive. Overnight, terrorist threat will be lifted.